Because we live in relatively peaceful Canada, we may think that we are in total peace with others, and we may think that we are safe. But we see reports of chaos going on, like gang violence and war. Our earth is overrun by violence, and other people think that this world could fall into corruption. For example, the great wars that happened in the 20th century were thought to be ancient history, but others think that World War III could happen any day now. But some people think that it could be already going on because Russia and Ukraine have been at war with each other since 2023. And this has led to the death of 140 deaths in Ukraine. And another war is going on between Israel and Palestine for more land. And this war has been going on since 1967 to 1973. And fighting with other countries is one thing. But there has been a civil war in Sudan with all its citizens fighting for supremacy. And even sending children into war, and it's still going on since 2024. And in any war, it turns a peaceful environment into a wasteland and millions of innocent deaths. And another thing is gang violence going on in some parts of this world, but mostly in the United States, Haiti, and Mexico. First of all, in the United States, law enforcement from 2021 to 2025 reported more than 69,000 incidents of gang activity, murders, aggravated assaults, rapes, robberies have accounted for more than half of these claims. And most of these victims and offenders were between the ages of 13 and 16. And these offenders and victims knew each other. And in Haiti, residents have been subjected to horrific violence as 90% is run by gangs and not by police. And in Mexico, faced a crisis of disappearances that has left over 30,000 people dead each year since 2018. Also, gangs and drug cartels have also perpetrated this violence. And the state has committed rights and violations to preventing these by including extrajudicial killing, torture, enforced disappearances, and arbitrary detention. And finally, another thing that leads this world into chaos is hate crimes. Since the war with Israel and Gaza, many Jews in Canada, United States, and other countries have been victims of hate. But the most recent was the mass shooting in Ataboni Beach, where a man shot over 20 people, including a little girl who was celebrating Hanukkah. And Muslims have also been a target for hate. For example, in London, Ontario, a family of Muslims were run down and killed by a man in a pickup truck only because he saw them wearing hijabs. And black people keep being systematically discriminated due to the color of their skin, of housing, services, protection. But the most recent was the mass killing of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd by police violence. Something has to be done with the rise of violence, of these hate crimes, war, and gang violence. And if any of you would have the chance, what would your actions do to restore order to this world or to these countries that are in ruin of chaos? Thank you.